Hi, sixth graders. Welcome to our technology class. This is week 20. And do you like my new virtual background? I am in a robotics/technology lab. I don't know where it is, but it looks pretty cool. And could you imagine if that's what our technology room looked like? Anyways, I just thought it'd be fun to get a new background. Anyways, here we are. So let's see. This week you have a new typing lesson. So you're going to be doing speed drills. So I know I say the same thing every week, but you do have typing every week. So please make sure you do it. It's an easy way to get 100 on your weekly typing assignment. Just do the typing, right? And this week we're actually going to be doing one of our second step lessons. And I thought it would be really good to just kind of take a pause this week and reflect on how are you doing, right? I know that things seem to be changing minute by minute these days. We're in school, we're at remote, we're at the remote, we're in the school, we're in our cars. So I'm just kidding. Like we don't even know, right? We just have to keep going. And I think it's a skill that we have to all just become adaptable and just to know how to keep going and doing the things we have to do in our life, no matter what's going on around us, try our best, right? And I think for you guys, that means like keep on learning no matter where you're learning, right? I think that's kind of what we've all been learning how to do. Is like, okay, whatever, I'm here today, I'm doing this, and this schedule changed, and I'll do this, and you just keep going. So we're going to be talking a little bit about our brains, and we're going to be learning about how our brains work. And why is this important? Well, number one, because technology is so much a part of our lives, we need to sometimes take a little break from it and say, I'm a human and I need to take care of myself, right? And I need to know how to stay in control and how to stay motivated, how to stay calm, right? How to deal with stress. And so we're going to be focusing on learning a little bit about how our brain works. So the two main parts of the brain we're going to be focusing on are our amygdala and our cortex. And you may have heard about these before. But our amygdala is our feelings part of our brain, right? And that's pretty much when something happens, right? Like, for example, you find out that, like last week, right? We did the testing and all of a sudden they're like, this grade's on remote, that one's on remote. And everyone's just like, what's going on? What's going on? Is everybody okay? Do I have the virus? Did this happen? Who has, what's going on? Right? And you're starting to react through your emotions, right? That's the feelings part of your brain, the amygdala. And if we let that part of the brain take over, we would just be literally walking around emotional little baggage coming out of us nonstop, right? Like you may even know people like this. They're just always so dramatic. This, that, da, 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 and you're just like, calm down, right? And so that's why we need our cortex part of our brain, our thinking part, to help our feelings get back to a calm place where we are in control, right? So we'll be learning a little bit about that today and hopefully getting you guys to think about and reflect, where are you right now? You know, are you somebody who's just kind of living out of emotion every day and you just feel like you're just this emotional, just baggage coming out of you every day and you're just like, I need help, right? Or have you been able to stay pretty calm with everything that's been going on? So let's get started. Of course, they always have some cute little videos. So this one says, Fido needs help with his homework. Well, I wonder what happens. Um, Let me see if I can start it again. Fido has trouble with his homework. What does he do? Let's see. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's eating his homework up. The next day at school. Oh no. What happens? His homework isn't little bits because he ate it all up. So it's just a funny little comic, but you know what? I bet that's how some of you guys feel some days. You're like, I have all this work to do, and I don't even know how I'm going to get it all done. And you just feel like crumbling it up, right? And just going back the next day, like, I give up. This was too much. This was too hard, right? And that's normal. It's a normal feeling when we feel overwhelmed with things, right? But is it okay to rip up our homework or eat our homework? I hope you don't eat it or feed it to your dog. No, please don't do that. No, that's not okay, right? You have to learn how to calm down, stay in control, and get your work done and whatever else you need to do, and to be able to just manage your life, right? No matter what's going on. So let me put on this video. So it's going to talk about your brain, and then we'll come back.
Just a second, I'm almost ready. Let's hope this works. Have you ever wondered what happens inside your brain and your body when you experience strong emotions? What causes your emotions? Why do you feel the way you do? Have you ever noticed that when you get really angry, you also get really warm, or your mouth goes dry, or maybe you have a hard time thinking clearly? Why is that? To help us learn more about what's going on inside of ourselves when we feel strong emotions, I thought I'd go inside myself. This was his idea, not mine. Let's get started. If my calculations are correct... Ready? I guess. This is gonna be weird. What you see here moving up and down the pathways of my brain are called sensory input. You know, what you see, hear, touch, smell, or taste. Some sensory input triggers emotions in our brain. Some very strong emotions. I'll show you what I mean. Let's say I'm walking home from school, and suddenly I hear a dog growling behind me. The sound of the growling dog is going to trigger an emotion. Fear. We're headed for the amygdala. That's your amygdala. It's an area in the primitive automatic part of your brain. The part that runs things that we don't do consciously, like breathing or making our heart beat. Think of the amygdala as your feelings alarm. Whenever your brain gets input that is emotional, it sends it here. Your feelings alarm is automatic, and it's always set to go off instantly. When it does, it sends out urgent messages to get your brain and body ready to respond. Stress hormones are released, sending adrenaline rushing through your body. Your heart beats faster to pump more blood to your muscles and brain. Your lungs take in air faster to supply your body with oxygen. The pupils of your eyes get larger to see better. Sometimes your body's reaction is so strong that your stomach or your head hurts, or you feel shaky. You might even feel like you're losing control. At this point, you're probably not thinking very clearly. That's not surprising. The amygdala can't think at all. That's not its job. Luckily, it also sends a message to the thinking part of your brain. Hey, cortex, wake up! You've got an emotion to deal with. This is your cortex. It's the gray matter all folded in nooks and crannies that covers the outside of your brain. Like I said, it's the thinking part of your brain. The first thing the thinking part of your brain does is try to figure out the situation. What's really happening? Am I in danger? Should I run away? Should I defend myself? As it thinks, it quickly notices something interesting about the sound. The growling was muffled, like maybe the dog was behind a fence. A quick glance tells me that I'm right, and that I'm not really in danger. Whew, that's a relief. And now that I know everything's cool, the thinking part of my brain sends a message back down to turn off my feelings alarm. Now it's much easier to turn on an emotion than it is to turn it off. Your feelings alarm can switch on emotion like that. But it takes longer for the thinking part of your brain to get things back under control. And with all that adrenaline rushing around in my body right now, it's going to take a while for the feeling of fear to go away. How are you feeling? A little shaky. Takes a while to calm down. Just keep telling yourself everything's under control. Don't worry about me. I've got a grip on it.
Okay, so hopefully that kind of just helped introduce and to help you to see a little bit about how your brain works, right? And especially when you're going through something stressful that triggers a strong emotion, it's nice to really have an understanding to know what's going on inside of your body, right? And especially inside of your brain. So I want to pull up, there's some things that we obviously can't do because we're not together. But let me pull up the staying in control poster. So you might remember this, it's hanging on the wall in the technology classroom. And it's becoming an antique these days. I'm just kidding. But it is still here. So when you're staying in control, some things that you want to do is notice any physical signs, right? So you might start to feel like your heart racing, maybe you're getting sweaty, you kind of feel your muscles getting tight. We usually know the physical triggers. Mental signs, could be a lot of negative thinking, right? I'll never get all this work done. I might as well give up. I'm such a failure. I'm failing anyways. What's the point, right? Negative, 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 negative. You really need to pause, right? So come up with something you could say to yourself like, I'm stressed. I got to pause for a minute, right? And then think twice. When you think twice, you really are just trying to think about like the facts, like what's really going on here, right? And because our emotions, a lot of the times they lie to us, right? And they overreact things. And that can be dangerous because it's not always how things are. The truth is just how we're feeling about something. And sometimes when we just simply name our feeling, we're like, you know what, I'm just frustrated today. Or like, I didn't sleep good last night, so I'm kind of cranky. And this is probably why I'm feeling like this, and I'm acting like this right now. And then you're able to calm yourself down and come up with a plan of something that you can do instead of, reacting just out of emotion, right? Which is what we really don't want to do in our life. So, okay, so let's move on to the next part of our lesson. So here's another little thing. It says, I know tests make you anxious, but what are you doing? He's like, yoga. So it's like, what do you do when you need to calm down? So maybe these are some things that they share, but doing something physical, like going for a walk, going for a run, doing some exercise at home, doing something relaxing. Everybody may find that different, but maybe some people like to bake, listen to music, read a book, thinking about something else, doing your deep centered breathing. This is really helpful, especially in the moment if you need to calm yourself down. And of course, positive self talk. So we're just trying to build you guys up with healthy ways to cope with things, right? In an unhealthy world, people, when they are avoiding things that are stressful, they like to distract themselves. And I think that technology can be such a big distraction. Let me just go on TikTok or Instagram. 4 hours later, I just need to keep looking at this and like forgetting everything that I need to do, right? And what happens? You still have to do the stuff. Now you're even more stressed out because you just wasted 4 hours, right? And so, you may be coping and avoiding things in an unhealthy way. Some people have trouble sleeping. Some people don't feel like eating. Other people overeat. Some people harm themselves by cutting themselves, right? Or doing other things. And if you are battling any unhealthy ways of coping, please reach out to me, guys. I'm really here to support you. I know it's tricky with the videos, but I'm still here for you. Every week, I meet with a lot of students one-on-one on Zoom. And we talk privately. They share things that are going on. And so I'm here for you. If you ever feel like, something is just getting to be too heavy to carry, it's the stress of school or the stress of just COVID, or there's something going on at home and you feel like you're coping and avoiding in an unhealthy way, reach out to me. We'll come up with a plan, guys. I don't want you to feel like you have nobody to talk to. You do have somebody to talk to. I do care about you guys. And so definitely, email me and we can always talk. And let's just try and brainstorm today. And I wish we could share, but we can't. But and I'm gonna have you guys do that for your homework. Just share, like, what do you do? What are some calming down strategies that you use when you are feeling stressed out? So actually, let me show you. So what you're gonna be, I'll kind of show you a little bit of your assignment this week. So the first part of the assignment is based off of the video that we just saw. So you have all of these words up here. This is kind of like your word bank. And you have to use them to fill in the blanks. So it's just everything about what we just learned about your brain. So just fill in the blanks with the word. So each of the words is used once. And then in the next part, we're going to talk about anger, and feeling mad, and how do you calm down. And this, I'm going to actually change this. So it might not just be angry, when you get angry or feel any strong emotions. So which could be sadness, which could be anxiety, it could be worry, frustration. So how can you tell when you're feeling a strong emotion? What happens to your body? So share what happens to you, because everybody's different. And then what are some things that you say to yourself? So maybe some self-talk when you're feeling a strong emotion. And so I want you guys to really think about that this week, because it really is something that you can use every single day. Is coming like, how do you talk to yourself? What do you do to calm down? How do you cope with stress, right? Think about those things. That's why I said this is kind of like a self-reflection week, because it is important, to know how to do those things. Okay, so they have a little video story, so I'll put it on. Let's see what happens.
I had to make this foul shot. My team was counting on me. I felt a lot of pressure because the other team's friends were being noisy and trying very hard to distract me. My parents and friends were even watching too. But I had to get centered and make the shot. So I started doing this technique I started learning for breathing. I just stopped, settled, and breathed deeply into my stomach a couple of times like this. You slowly breathe in through your nose, and your stomach moves outward. Then you exhale slowly through your mouth. Repeat this a few times, and it will really calm you down. And here's why. When you take long, deep breaths from your diaphragm, you stimulate a nerve that controls your heartbeat. The vagus nerve goes all the way from your brainstem, past your heart, and through your gut. Taking deep breaths and exhaling stimulates this nerve where it passes your diaphragm muscles and signals your heart to slow down. When you start to calm down, you can think and focus more clearly. It just took a moment to do the deep breathing, and no one even noticed I was doing it. I got really centered and focused, and I made the shot.
Okay, so it really does work, the centered breathing, and I know we've done it. If you haven't been with me, we use second step, since kindergarten, and we learn about breathing and everything. And so, if you guys are new, then this is new to you. But if you are with me for a long time, you know that we've done this and we've done it together, right? And it really does help to calm you down, right? And it might seem silly at first, like I'm just doing these deep breaths, but believe it or not, it really does help to physically calm you down, and then to mentally get your brain in a place where now you can think clearly, right? And so, gosh, you might even need to remind the adults in your life to use this, because it's so important, right? And it's really helpful, to stay calm, no matter what's going on, right? Even if you're just freaking out, try to stay calm, right? You'll think better if you're calm, and you'll make better decisions. Okay, so negative and positive self-talk. So again, it's a little bit tricky to do this because we don't have partners, but okay, so let's read through some of these. So it says, Arturo comes to school in his new jacket. Some older kids look in his direction and start laughing. And then he starts thinking, this jacket must be weird. I'm never going to wear it again. So what do you guys think? Is he using a positive self-talk or a negative self-talk? So obviously it's negative, right? He's assuming that the kids are laughing at him just because they're looking in his direction, and he thinks it's because of the jacket, right? And again, it may have nothing to do with the jacket. They're laughing at a movie they saw last night, right? So he's using a negative self-talk, and it's really impacting him, right? So I have a few examples that you guys are going to work on for homework. So you're going to read the scenario and read what the person thinks, And then you're going to say, is it positive or negative self-talk? If it is negative, then I want you to rewrite something that they could say that would be positive. So there's a few of them here. And then I want you guys to share a situation that happens to you often when you could use positive self-talk to help. So describe the situation and then share the positive self-talk that you will use. Okay. This is really good practice because I think that when we are, going through something, it could be stress or something that's happening. Using our self-talk is really important, right? What we say, and our self-talk, again, for people who've never done second step before, we learn self-talk and it's pretty much just the voice in your head. So everybody, we all do self-talk every single day, right? Because we hear our voice in our head. It's just that, is that voice saying something positive or negative, right, about the situation? And when our thoughts are always very negative, it can obviously lead to physically feeling sick. It could lead to a lot of anxiety, and just be like, we have to learn how to get control of our thoughts. I mean, it's biblical, right? I mean, the Bible actually says, take captive every thought to the obedience of Christ. And Paul, even in Philippians, says, think about what is pure, what is noble, what is trustworthy, what is good, what is right. So they talk a lot in the Bible about our thoughts and our thinking. And when you stop really and think about it, it's so true, because our thoughts, I mean, they can almost make or break our day. And it doesn't even matter what's going on and around us. It's just the way that we think can really help us if it's positive, or it can really hurt us if it's negative. And of course, our goal here in teaching you these lessons is to have you develop a positive self-talk, where that voice in your head, more often than not, is a positive voice, right? And I get it. Some days, it might be really hard for you. I've been there, guys. I know. Some days you're just like, I don't know, I can't even think anything positive about this, but guess what? When you have Jesus, you can always just stop and think, well, I have Jesus, and he says that through him, all things are possible, and that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And then you're starting to put the positive back into you. You're starting to put the hope back into you. And so this is really, I guess, my hope, because I feel like, especially nowadays with social media and technology, it's so easy to get filled with negative, right? You go on and you're just like, oh, their TikTok video was better than mine. Theirs got, 1 million likes, and mine only got 3, and mine must stink, right? And you're just like letting the negative come over you. Please, guys, take a hold of it this week. Do a check, do a reflection in your life, and kind of be like, what brings negative into my life and what brings positive into my life? And do more of the positive, because you want to keep yourself on the right track, in a good place mentally. That will lead to a good place physically. That will help you to be more successful and to really enjoy your life more, especially as a student, when you may be feeling stressed on certain days. You may be having all this roller coaster ride of emotions that you go through as your body is changing and you're growing up. But, you have the ability to choose to stay in control, and God can help you. Jesus is with you, and he wants to help you get through this, the seasons of your life that may be challenging, and for you to come out stronger. So that's going to be your homework. You can type up the answers to these in the document here, and just, you want to share it through Google Docs or send through the Word doc, and then just do your typing, and that's your homework for this week, okay? So hopefully you'll be learning a little bit more about your brain. You'll be reflecting on, kind of how you deal with things, and making some changes and pushing yourself into a good place, right? Especially, we're about halfway through the school year. So you want to end in a positive, strong place, right? And again, if you need help working through anything, you just want to talk it through, reach out to me, guys. I mean it. I'm really here for you. I really care about you guys, and I want you to be able to be successful in the things that you need to be doing. Okay. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.